Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel as we look back at a game at Goodison Park. Yes, and yes, record breakers, 17 wins on the trot. I think that is in all competitions. That's not too shabby, is it? Certainly when you go to Goodison, you do worry a little bit about what's going to happen, don't you? But hey, I predicted the score right as well, so there you go. Well, I do a couple of scores, so I cheat really. I got one of the scores right anyway. So yeah, 17th of February 2021, Everton 1, Manchester City 3. Yeah, well worth the win. We'll talk about obviously the conclusions we can make on that. We'll have a match analysis, the match stats, quirky stats. Of course, we'll have our player ratings with Mr. Bukowski. It's causing a few problems this week, but I won't touch on that in this thing, but I might mention it in my little magazine vlog when I do that, the City show, the One City show. Yeah, he's not getting a bit of stick, poor Mr. Simon Bukowski, poor United fan. He's getting a little bit of stick off some City fans, but hey, there you go. He seems as though he's taking it quite well anyway. Yeah, so we'll have a look, just a couple of newspaper headlines as well from the game last night. That we can have a look at, and yeah, we'll sum it up. We'll have a look. Anyway, please, if you're new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 800 by the end of March. We've just gone through 700 now. Obviously, I'd like to get to the magical 1,000 by the end of the football season, end of May, something like that. So if you can help me out, if you've not done so already, or tell your City supporting friends as well about this channel, that'd be fantastic. Lots of City stuff, City history, City present, City quizzes, City magazine vlogs, as I said, fantastic. And you will notice some TV and film stuff there. I'll just give a quick mention to there's a little Sean Connery quiz out there. So if you like Sean Connery, a little prize up for grabs as well on my film and TV channel. Let's have a look at that, please, if you can. If you like Sean Connery, not dead hard questions, only 15 questions. A bit of fun, but obviously if you make a comment or leave your score, you get put into a prize draw for the 10th of March. So please have a look at that on the film and TV channel. I'll say, if you're not interested in that, don't worry about it. But yeah, so just have a look at that. That's been put out the last couple of days. So have a go on that, and you might win yourself a little Sean Connery connected prize. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, so that's my film and TV channel. If you know anyone who might like that as well, please point them in my direction. That'd be great. And please, there's a couple of links on the screen now for Facebook and Twitter. Do if I follow and friend everyone back. So if you do seek me out, I will do that. I check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back. And all your comments, like if you comment on Sean Connery, see how many you can score. If you comment on this football vlog on City or anything to do with City, it doesn't have to be this game, it can be anything, of course. That'd be fantastic. If you can't comment, please just give us a little thumbs up. It's nice to know you're out there. It's nice to do these vlogs. Nice to get lots of views, which the views are gradually growing now as I get more subscribers. But it's nice to get a little thumbs up as well. Just let me know you enjoyed it anyway, that I do these little things. Right, let's go on. Starting lineup. Yeah, 3 changes to the Spurs game, which, yeah, sort of didn't particularly surprise me. We had Edison, Walker. Yeah, Walker was a bit of a surprise, but then again, I thought it would obviously release Cancelo, wouldn't it, if we put Walker in at right back. So you had Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, Mahrez, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling and Jesus. Yeah, sub Stephen Stones, Aguero, Zinchenko, Kevin De Bruyne, Torres, Mendy, Fernandinho and Garcia. Yeah, not as enthusiastic on that one. Yeah, I got 8 right, so that wasn't too bad. I wasn't surprised by Mahrez. I thought he would play because he had a cracking game last year at Goodison, and he didn't do too shabby yesterday either, did he? And Walker, as I said, allowed Cancelo to get forward a little bit more, with Laporte staying on the left side. So that sort of seemed to make some sort of sense there. So I was quite happy with that. Yeah, match officials, referee, a bit more on him after the summing up of the game. Andre Mariner, assistants, Lionel, Scott Ledger, Richard West, 4th official Lee Mason, VAR Simon Hooper, assistant VAR Derek Eaton. Yeah, pre-match social media too. I didn't see any real negatives. I know some people were saying, oh, all the negative people. I must have got rid of all my negative people. I must have blocked them all or got rid of them, because I didn't see any real negatives about the team. Just a couple of comments. Main Road Ramble said, best guesses at this lineup looks like some sort of 3-2-2-3 or 3-2-1-4 in possession with a traditional defence setup. Don't count out something weird though, getting some tactic vibes that remind me of Arsenal match when Pep played Walker and Cancelo on the same side. There you go. Stat City. On paper, that's our strongest back five. On form, it isn't. Interesting point. Still very, very strong, though, this went on to say. Yeah, so on to the match. Here we go. First 45 minutes, yeah. Cancelo brought an early save out from Pickford, didn't he? 18 minutes. Great chance for Jesus from a good Rodri ball. But he sort of told it over. Did he get a deflection? I'm not too sure. It took a bit of, even on replay, you weren't too sure. But yeah, perhaps he could have done a little bit better. But hey, we should have had a corner at least, shouldn't we? But obviously didn't even get that, did we? It was 32 minutes when we went 1-0 up. So I'll go over to, as you know, I'll go over to Phil Banerjee for his description of the goal. He did state, sublime in-swinging Mahrez cross posed another test. It was headed by Keane out to Foden, who slammed the ball into net with his right foot. It took a deflection off a defender that was wrong-footed Pickford, but there's so much pace on it that it would have likely have beaten him anyway. Yeah, I did watch it from behind, and it looked as though Pickford was getting down. I think he may have been down a little bit too late for it, so obviously it was on target, so it's going to count as his goal, that's fine. But yeah, 38 minutes, it was 1-1. I was very disappointed. I didn't even think Everton had scored last night based on that first 30 minutes. I thought they looked very poor. I thought, oh, this is game over at 1-0. Yeah, 1-1 on 38 minutes. Over to Phil again. Unexpectedly, Everton equalised within 6 minutes from Coleman's cross. Digny's shot struck the inside of the post. It hit Richarlison's thigh and went in. He didn't know much about it, did he? It was a rare lapse in City's defence. It was. We were all over the place, weren't we? Or rather, a succession of errors. Coleman was allowed too much room to cross. He was. Digny was in acres. He was. Unmarked to shoot, and Richarlison was also unattended on the line. He was, and there was even another player there, wasn't there, near Richarlison? I have no idea what happened to our defence on that one. No John Stones, no clean sheet, eh? That's what we say. So there you go. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest half by City. The commentators were getting all giddy about it being a close game, although they were quite complimentary to City. Yeah, I thought Everton showed us far too much respect early doors, and I don't think we were moving the ball as quick as we should have been in that first 30 minutes. And as soon as we scored, I thought we would go on from there, but it sort of woke them up. And once they scored, they sort of gained a bit of confidence, as you'd expect. But as I said, I think in the preview, they're a confidence team. You've got to go you've got to go and sort of knock it out of them, because obviously they will come back at you and battle hard and be physical, which is what they are. I thought we were a little bit too sloppy in that first half, although obviously looking at some of the reviews this morning, a lot of people perhaps thought we had a good game overall. I wasn't too sure. Anyway, in the second half, 51 minutes, good effort by Bernardo, made an okay save by Pickford. 53 minutes, a half chance for Sigurdsson, wasn't there? It was deflected to Ederson, wasn't it? Sort of blocked and looped over to Ederson. But yeah, he had a sort of good chance there to do something with that. 55 minutes, a Walker, good ball to Jesus, who had space, didn't he? But he blasted high and wide. Yeah, he didn't have his striker boots on last night, did he? 61 minutes, a Rodri header wide. He should have really done better with that, I think. I mean, I know he was under pressure a little bit, but we've got some big lads, and I think if I have one criticism of people like Rodri and Stones and Laporte, etc., etc. I mean, obviously Stones scored those 2 goals the other week, but yeah, we don't put enough headers on target. We'll talk about the on target thing in a bit, but we don't put enough headers on target from corners and set pieces. We do win them, but we just don't get them on target. So that is one little flaw, that we've sorted one thing out, which I'll talk about later, but we've not sorted that out. 63 minutes, 2-1. City deservedly, of course, over to Phil again. City deservedly retook the lead with a sublime goal that was made by some lovely slick interplay down the right. Receiving the ball in midfield, Bernardo turned through 360 degrees and played the ball out to Mahrez on the right-hand touchline. Bernardo advanced to receive the return ball before cutting inside and laying it off perfectly to Mahrez, who hit an absolute beauty of a curling shot in off the left-hand post. Bernardo has so much time on the ball and his layoff was perfectly weighted. Similarly, very much on his wavelength, Mahrez also has a wand of a left foot, and his beautiful strike could not have been better. Thank you, Phil. And back to Phil on 77 minutes for the description. It's 3-1. Yeah, the game was sealed with a sublime one-touch move with a Mahrez touch deftly cushioned by Jesus for Bernardo to cut inside and strike a shot, which was too much for Pickford despite getting a hand to it. Another absolute beauty of a goal. Yeah, I think Pickford perhaps could have done a little bit better. But as I say, I'll talk about it again. It was on target by Bernardo, so the goalie has to make the save. So if the goalie can't make the save, tough. That's just how it is. 80 minutes, of course, Sterling off and the wonderful KDB came on. It was great to see. Just 3 minutes injury time. 91st minute, Fernandinho came on, didn't he, for Rodri, went off. And 93 minutes, Mahrez had one last chance, didn't he? But he was wide after a bit of a defensive mistake by Everton. So it could have been 4-1, but we're not be greedy. We're not be greedy. So full time, game over, 3-1 to City. I'll talk about the conclusions of the game and what are my little thoughts on Everton and City after the player ratings and the stats, etc. Full time, game over, 3-1 to City. Ref watch, yeah, I don't think I wasn't impressed with Mr. Mariner. There's a lot of poor tackles, not tough tackles. There's a lot of poor tackles. There's a lot of whinging as well, a lot of petulance. I think he should have clamped down a little bit harder on some of the whinging. We'll look at the stats in a minute, but to get as many fouls as Everton last night, I think was wrong. I thought they were far more physical. They should have had more certainly more fouls than we had. I'm not going to complain. It's a man's game at the end of the day. I don't mind that, but obviously it's certain things were unnecessary, and I just don't think Mariner clamped down. I just think the players took the mick of him, to be honest with you, most of the game. I think there's 3 yellow cards shown. I think there probably could have been 4 or 5. So I'm just going to give him 4 out of 10, Mariner. I wasn't impressed with him last night. I thought he didn't have control of the game for a lot of the time. Match stats, shots, Everton 3, City 16, on target, Everton 2, City 7, possession 29% for Everton, so that leaves 71 for City, passes 313 for Everton, 755 for City, completion, there we go, 73% only for Everton, 90% for City. I'm happy when we get 90% at least, and fouls, as I said, was 8 each, and corners 0-10. So 10 corners for us, nothing for Everton. That's one of their strong points, isn't it? You usually think set pieces like that. So we did well to keep them to 0. On to the player ratings. Simon Bukowski, I'll give you his description and score first. Then I'll add my little bit to it. My starting score, I said normally if you have a really good game, I'd say starting at 7, but I'm only going to start at 6.5 last night. As I said, I'm not waxing. I wouldn't wax lyrical about the team as a whole. I thought we did okay, but I don't think it was one of our greatest displays last night. So I'll start at 6.5. So I think there's one player got less than 6.5. So obviously we'll get to that in a bit. But that's my minimum standard for turning up, putting the shirt on, and having an okay game. Right. On to this, Bukowski, Mr. Edison, unusually caught in possession in the first half. I think I missed that. My Amazon went off, believe it or not, but I think a lot of people have trouble with Amazon. I ended up watching on my computer because my TV talk went off Amazon, so it took about 10 minutes to get it back on, and then it was about 2 minutes behind my computer one, so I just stayed on the computer screen and watched it on there. So I think I missed that, so I'll have to catch up. I'll have to trust Mr. Bukowski because I didn't see that. Caught in possession in the first half, but stood firm in the wake of some high pressing from the home team. His passing was again an asset. So he's give Edison a 7. I'm just going to give Edison a 6.5. It didn't look as though he had that much to do. He was okay, so I'll give him the standard. Walker looked to be caught out with the goal, but he pressed going forward and looked more comfortable than he has in recent weeks. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, you got to allow for the fact he hasn't been playing, but I'll give him the standard 6.5. But I didn't think he looked up to speed. I think 1 or 2 players didn't last night. I thought it was adequate, don't get me wrong, but he just thought he wasn't quite up to it last night. There's a couple of times he got back to cover defensive things with his speed, etc. But it's not the sort of Walker I know at his peak. Diaz didn't seem as imposing as he normally does without his usual partner. Still organised defence. Well, let's give Diaz a 7. I'm just going to give him a standard. And nothing I say, I don't think I noticed anything particularly last night, so I'll give him a 6.5. Laporte, Everton targeted him in possession, had more success than expected. He looks short on confidence at the moment, which is perhaps understandable given he's been out of the team, but won't help him to oust Stones permanently. I don't think he played that bad. I don't think he was short of confidence. He was playing, I thought he was okay. Simon's given him a 6. I've just given him a 6. Standard 6.5. I didn't notice anything untoward with Laporte, but I would have preferred Stones there. But I think it was just the tactics for last night, wasn't it? Cancelo couldn't believe his luck as Everton backed off for him for a good 20 yards as he advanced early on. A more restrained role, but still a menace when he had his eye in. So give him a 7. Again, Cancelo, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a bit lumbering sometimes, just not quite quick enough, and he certainly wasn't a Gundogan role, put it that way. But yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I'll give him the average. To say no one really. There's only 2 or 3 players stood out last night, and obviously Cancelo and Rodri and the likes of that didn't really. So we'll get on to Rodri now. Anyway, excellent again. Going from strength to strength in this team. He made a number of key interceptions at the back and also created some promising chances at the other end. So he's given him an 8. Yeah, I'll give him a 7 again. A bit lumbering, I thought, which was sort of okay for this game. But yeah, it's very odd. Rodri, I thought it was okay, but obviously Simon Bukowski gave him an 8. I thought it was okay. Don't get me wrong, he's got half a point more than the average, hasn't he? But yeah, I wasn't as overly impressed as perhaps Simon was on that. Bernardo, outstanding. Not only could Everton not get the ball off him, but his ability to find space from virtually every position on the pitch was unrivalled. So he's given him a 9. He's given Bernardo a 9. Yeah, I'll give him 8.5. 8.5. I won't go as high as 9. He's obviously Duracell, isn't he? Other makes are available, of course, but it's fantastic. He never stopped, does he? He never stops, that guy. I'm quite impressed with Bernardo, as I'm bound to be. Foden played in central midfield in the absence of Gundogan and did reasonably well. Scored the opening goal and was still helping out in his own box late on when he had been pushed forward into the centre forward role. Yeah, so he's given Foden a 7. Yeah, it's not his greatest game, was it? But he scored a goal and he was there when it mattered. So yeah, anyway, I think he was upset with himself as well. I don't think he thought he played well himself. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. Foden, certainly better than the average, because he scored a goal. Mahrez, a tough call between him and Bernardo's man of the match. Yeah, I'd have to agree. The way he created the first goal and scored the second was truly superb, and he offers something City's other forwards don't. So he's given him a 9, Mahrez. Yeah, I might give him an 8.5. As we last season at Goodison, he was excellent last season, but I thought he was excellent last night. It was sort of up with his pace. I don't think we were very fast last night. I think the pace suited him, and Everton gave him plenty of room, didn't they, to sort of do what he wants to do. But yeah, it was up there. It's one of his better displays, as it was last season. Sterling struggled to have much of an impact, but ran hard at Everton defence whenever he got the opportunity. Yeah, he was almost unnoticed, wasn't he, Raheem Sterling? It took me a while to realise he was playing. So Simon's giving him 6. I'll give him 6.5, the standard thing. But yeah, a little quiet last night, wasn't he? Jesus, a disappointing regression from recent weeks. He was heavily involved and set up the third goal, but missed 2 chances that a top striker should snaffle up. So he's given Jesus a 5. Yeah. Well, yeah, for his effort overall in the game and being a nuisance, I'd give him 7.5. As a striker, unfortunately, I'd give him 4 out of 10. So if I take one from the other, I'm just going to give him a 6. As I say, he's the only player to get less than the average 6.5 for me. A bit disappointing last night, but we'll talk on him in a moment when we do the conclusion. KDB for Sterling, 79. Yeah, I've not marked him. It's not long enough, but Simon said a very nice sub for Guardiola to be able to make, and he gave him a 6. So I won't score him. And Fernandinho, of course, came on for just a minute or 2, wasn't it, at the end? Yeah, so it's my City's man of the match. Yeah, it is close between Mahrez and Bernardo, but of course I'm gonna give it our little Duracell Bernie, and of course I am. I thought it was excellent. I nearly give it Mahrez. There's no things to Mahrez, but I think that the work Bernardo put in again, just and the fact they both did very, very well. They were my two standouts last night for City, but I will give it Bernardo as my Citizen man of the match. Hope you agree. Let me know, who do you think yours was? Let me know. And like your ratings, let me know what your ratings, anything sort of different to what we were saying. And the quirky stats. Up to Joe, the only place to score more top-flight league goals under Pep Guardiola in his managerial career before turning 21 than Phil Foden with 12, Bojan, B-O-J-A-N, and Gabriel Jesus, 16 each. All 4 Premier League goals Mahrez has scored against Everton have come at Goodison Park. Against no side has he scored more goals on the road in the competition. City haven't trailed for a single minute in any of their last 16 Premier League games. Long may it continue. The only team with a longer run of games without falling behind in Premier League history is Arsenal. Who are we playing next, I wonder? Between December 1998 and May 1999. 19 in a row. So we've got a bit to go to be record breakers on that one, haven't we? Manchester City have won their first 10 top-flight matches in 2021, the longest ever winning run by a team from the start of a calendar year in top-flight history. Record breakers! Stat City Rhymesdale is making his 275th appearance for City tonight, or he did, in all competitions, overtaking the amount Sean Wright-Phillips made for the club, 274. City have now scored at least 3 goals in 119 of their 270 games in which Pep Guardiola has taken charge. 44%, unbelievable. Just a quick look at a couple of headlines. Harry Kane's coming into it for some reason, yeah. Record offer will tempt Spurs chief Levy to cash in. Manchester club's keen on signing England captain between us and United, eh? Silver service, 17 wins on the spin as City go 10 clear. That's on the back of the Daily Mail there. 150 million for Harry Kane. No, not particularly, no, I'm not really bothered about that. Mahrez magic seals it and Silva adds a third as City just keep on winning. Great image there of the Mahrez goal. Fantastic when it goes over a double page like that. The Star, Everton 1, City 3, perfect 10, but Pep wants more, of course we do. We all want more, don't we? So, Mr. Happy Duracell Bernie there on the back. Inside, top of the world Mar, M-A-H, there you go, well, they're always good, and I think the user saying the photographer sold his picture to these as well, I think. Riyad Tracker sets up 17th win in a row for Pep Stars, so there you go. Yeah, it's a great image. It's like a spot the ball, but it's not the spot the ball image. That was the week that was, so you have to look for something else. Onto our own little paper, Manchester Evening News. Marvels, there you go. Well, we know obviously the play on words. Is that going to be my missing headline? No, no, it's too easy, far too easy. I'll have to look something a bit more obscure, won't I? It's 10 clear, but Pep's on lookout for a number 9. Oh, that's a bit harsh on Jesus, isn't it? So I think that's what the implication is, obviously. And we always have a couple of little headlines inside, don't we? We'll need everyone firing now, says Pep. City boss admits rest of the season is going to be hectic for Blues. It certainly is. Silva and Riyad simply magic. There you go. So more plays on the Mar thing there. Yeah, I mean, this is just the start of it, really, isn't it, if you think about it? Well, there's your headlines there. Conclusion, yeah, let's have a look. Everton, what about Everton? Yeah. Top 6, well, if they as physical as that, I mean, get away with it, they might do. I mean, I'm not a big fan of something. I don't like Richarlison, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of him. I was a bit upset when he scored the goal because, I mean, I don't want him, you know, he's a bit of a whinge, isn't he? Let's be honest about it. And he sort of tries to get away with things, and he's all right. But, yeah, I wasn't impressed with Everton. I thought they were very... At the back, I thought they were quite poor. I mean, I know Ancelotti's a great manager. He's done wonders there, and they're obviously up top half of the table at the moment, aren't they? But there's not a lot of quality. They did scare City. Don't get me wrong. I think if they put certainly in the cup game, I think if they bit more bravado from them, I mean, it might be an interesting game because they did sort of look, although we looked a little bit lax at the back on a couple of occasions last night, but. No, I couldn't really watch Everton every week based on what I saw. Well, I would do if I was an Everton fan because that's what you do. But you know, they don't look anything special. They have 1 or 2 good players. I mean, obviously, they're missing Calvert-Lewin, aren't they? But yeah, top 10 definitely. I don't think they're going to hit top 6 and say they were top of the table early in the season, weren't they? But I wasn't overly impressed with Everton, and we've got to play them another 2 times, haven't we? So interesting. Let's have a stronger referee, perhaps. Yeah, and as far as City are concerned, I mean, without Gundogan, the old team worked hard, and certainly, all right, he didn't fill his role, Bernardo, but because he's been playing a similar sort of role anyway. He's been like his Duracell bunny for a lot of games recently, but he did take that leader role, and he did sort of inspire everyone around him. I mean, the commentators did wax lyrical, which is nice to hear on Amazon Prime. They were very kind to City. Even Mr. Owen was quite nice to City, but we weren't our greatest by a long way last night. I thought we were quite well below. Unfortunately, we managed to take our chances, didn't we? And this is what I was sort of hinting at early on when I was doing the match report. we're shooting on sight more. You know, obviously that Foden goal, for instance, if you shoot from there and there's bodies in the box, yeah, you're going to get deflections. That's what's going to happen, and all good teams do that. And the same way that Bernardo's goal went in, even though Pickford got a hand to it. If you make the goal, have to make a save and have to get it on target. If he'd have pushed that a little bit wider and gone wide, we wouldn't have scored, would we? But if all right, it was close enough that Pickford could get an hand on it, but he wasn't good enough to save it. So that's what you got to do. And Mahrez's goal, yeah, perfect, in off the post. I mean, this is what you want, but that's what we want, and that's what we haven't got perhaps in the air at the moment. We don't have that dominance. We certainly don't have a striker who can do it. So we're relying on our defenders, and they're not natural goal scorers, are they? So we are losing chances there. And all right, games like last night, it doesn't matter, does it? But when it comes to the crunch, you know, in a tough European game away, and we get a corner, and Rodri or Laporte or Stones or Cancelo, all these big lads, if they rise to sort of get a header, you know, we're not scoring the headers, are we? I think we've got to improve on that, and I'd like to see some extra work going on that now. We seem to, you know, I'm greedy. Yeah, of course I'm greedy. But as I say, it's in a tight game. Those headers that are just going over or going wide, if they're not hitting the at least hit the target. I don't mind, as long as the keeper makes a save, that's fair enough, but let's get these headers on target. That's what we need to do. So yeah, that's my only real criticism. As a team performance last night, it was good enough, wasn't it? And as I say, we've got Arsenal coming up, so we'll see. And there's certainly no reason why our confidence isn't buoyed. And lovely to see the appearance of KDB. Nice to see Aguero there as well, but when will he get on the pitch? We're not quite too sure, are we? Anyway, it's yeah, good win. That's all we can say at Goodison Park, innit? I mean, Jesus, just a final word on Jesus here. It doesn't remain an enigma, doesn't he? Just sometimes he can look lethal. Perhaps when he knows Aguero's there watching, perhaps he doesn't. We don't get the best of him. Perhaps he just tries too hard or whatever. That's one of his problems, I think, sometimes. But he's not relaxed, and he's certainly not a striker, is he? Let's be honest about it. He's not a natural. At least he should have, at least again, hit the target last night. Again, 2 good chances, 2 half chances that, you know, hit the target. The goalie has to make a save. If you don't hit the target, the goalie doesn't, does he? So there you go. So, yeah, so I think one of the papers hinted there about a new number 9, didn't it? So we'll have to see, won't we? It's such a shame because his overall work ethic and work rate is excellent. I'm never going to query that. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back with a preview, of course, of the Arsenal game, which it takes place on Sunday, isn't it? So the preview will be out either Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, so keep your eyes out for that. Push that notification button. And of course, if you check my Citizen channel, there's a little thing, a horrible history just come out on an FA Cup game from 1991 at Meadow Lane. Is it Meadow Lane? Yeah, I think it's Meadow Lane. Notts County, anyway. Notts County's ground, which is a little bit of a horrible history. But hey, you know, we put a little bit of a spin of it, have a bit of fun. And there's even a watch along as well, based on a few minutes highlights of the game. So just a little bit different, a watch along from the past, just a bit of fun. It was an interesting game, put it that way. So I'll check that out if you can. Anyway, thanks for joining me. What are we going to do with the rest of the day? Have a great one. Hope you enjoyed this Manchester City 3, Everton 1 victory. Please, what are we going to do for the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet again here on the Citizen channel. Perhaps you flit across, have a look at my film and TV channel. Do that Sean Connery quiz, don't forget. Whatever it is, all I ever ask of you is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.